Yes, yes, yes. We were very excited to be able to get a result against a very good Denver side. We knew it was going to be a dogfight, and I thought the guys came out well prepared, and I think we were on the front foot. I thought we were committed to our defensive plan, which I thought you know went well. We did have to have some um, outrageous saves by Matthew Hudson and a couple of defending guys that helped him near the end line. But yeah, super pumped about our first result. To be able to do it during Oktoberfest was that extra special. But now we're on to our UNO match, which we've been saying all season. It's more than just a match, since it is a fundraiser for cancer research. So I think we have one of the best communities around in regards to men's and women's soccer. So to be able to see our communities come together, both Creighton and UNO's communities come together for a cause like this is awesome.
Yeah, I guess now that you have two results in the positive direction, especially them being at home, have you noticed an attitude shift at all with the guys in terms of just, I don't know, how much pride they feel playing on that field and knowing that there's been positive results behind it too?
I think so. Obviously there's that that breathing out moment, right? So they've always prepared, they've always worked hard, but it's difficult when you've done all this work and you're not getting the desired results, right? So now that we were able to do that, first with Tulsa, although it wasn't the 3 points, but yet a result, and now with Denver and having two shutouts in a row, I think there's a little bit of reward there of the work that you've put in. And so I think the guys will breathe easier now. Not to say that UNO is a game we're looking past, but I think that they can enjoy the process a little more now that they've gotten two results in succession.
You mentioned the back-to-back shutouts. How far is Matthew along just in the first 5 matches?
Yeah, again, I've said this about Matthew and a couple of the younger guys that are on the back line. Those guys aren't playing like freshmen. I think they've come a long way. I think the future looks bright when I look at those positions for our side, and just really proud of those guys. Now the challenge will be to make sure that their feet are planted firmly on the ground, and we continue to stay humble and gracious and continue to be hungry to continue to get better.
You mentioned I guess, Lucas got his first start against Michigan, is that correct? Yeah. When you're evaluating that back line especially, what kind of gave you the notion that just throw the youth movement in the fire and see what they can kind of put together?
Yeah, in our recruiting process, we knew that we would be deep. However, you don't ever know until they get here, and you see what they do. And sometimes as coaches, we get that piece right, and sometimes we don't. Fortunately for us, and Edelman and Lucas and even Etty, who played in Florida as a freshman, I feel that we have some depth, right? And so the advantage for Lucas is he seems to do quite well on both sides. He's very good with his left and his right foot in his distribution. Same thing with Edelman. Although right now Edelman is playing central, but Lucas has played on the left and on the right. And so, these are things that we see throughout the training that we're having and these preseason matches that we had. And we're fortunate that we do have some depth at that position where we can play different scenarios, different formulas. And right now, Savage on the left, Edelman in the middle, and Cavalcante on the right is working well. I think that was a starting lineup at the back for the two shutouts.
I mean, you know as well as anyone that the goal scorers get the glory, but you guys have had some pretty special guys in that, left back, center back positions in Creighton history. What do you see as the ceiling for guys like Lucas and Edelman that, I don't know, you're just willing to see them through the mistakes they'll make as freshmen, but also kind of the highs that they'll pop they'll be there too?
For sure. No, I think they have tremendous potential. I think they have tremendous potential. And to be honest with you, I think the limit is the sky for those guys. As long as we continue to help them grow and develop, and I know both those guys want to play past college, right? Academics is extremely important, and our plan is to get them to graduate. But also, hopefully, Creighton is a place that will nurture and develop and help them get into the pros as well. But those guys, along with Eti Ravelli, have tons of potential.
The UNO match, it's just, there's such a different energy in the stadium, no matter if you're playing at Kingley or Morrison. What's, in your experience as an assistant and a head coach now, what does that match kind of bring out in both teams and the community itself, and how much kind of buzz is in the building when it happens?
Well, hopefully it brings out a lot of joy and it brings out a reason for celebration. And like I said, the obvious one will be the fact that we're getting the community together for cancer research. But in regards to the Clásico or Derby, whatever you want to call it, I think it's amazing. I grew up in a household in Colombia where there was two teams in our city, in Medellin. One team was green and white and the other team was red and blue. Well, my mother and I were red and blue, and her 14 other siblings were white and green. And so on Derby Day or on the day of the Clásico, nobody spoke to my mom and I. It was just her and I. So it's for me a great experience. It's bragging rights for the city. And so regardless of how that match ends up, you're going to get the best shot from UNO and you're going to get the best shot from Creighton. And I think it's a great celebration. I think it's something that the city should be proud of and something that should be a lot of fun.
In regards to what the kind of overlying cause will be, I know you guys were really close to home a couple of years ago with someone close to your program who lost the battle, I guess, in some regards. How do you handle the emotions of what this cause is going to be, especially with how personal it is, while also kind of, doing what you got to do soccer-wise, I guess?
For sure. It's one of those situations where it's almost more difficult to find someone that hasn't been affected by cancer than it is to find someone that hasn't, right? So to be able to honor those people that were involved in your life through sport, I think is a pretty cool tool. And so we look at this Kicks for a Cure match as a way to be able to honor our loved ones and honor those that are still here and those that have passed on. But I think it just makes it a much more special situation when you're able to do that and honor the people that are important to you. And I'd be remiss not to mention Amy and Steve Lindsay, who have so much to do with Kicks for a Cure. And I know for a fact they've both been affected by cancer. I won't mention to what degree, but it's definitely there. And so I know it's something that they're very, very proud about, being able to help with this event. And they're both great, great friends of mine. And I'm just over the moon to be able to hopefully make it a little better by moving it from the spring to the fall.
Yeah, it's usually been in the spring every time you guys have done it, so it's in the spring. How did it get moved to the fall? How did that start? What was behind that?
Yeah, the Kicks for a Cure has always been a big deal, but we wanted to try to bring more attention to it. Obviously, we understand that in men's and women's soccer, our non-competitive segment is held in the second semester, which is where the Kicks for a Cure had traditionally been held. And we thought, hey, what about if we move it to the fall during our competitive segment of our season and then see what that does? So we're hoping that was a good move. We're hoping for more butts and seats. We're hoping for more awareness, and hopefully that translates to more fun and more dollars for cancer research.